You know what it is? Going to be talking about the best anime to come out of 2020. You clicked on this video. I already went through the best trashy anime to come out 2020 and the worst anime to come out of 2020 in two previous videos. This will be the last video to talk about regarding 2020 of the year. And I'm going to talk about the top 10, not 5, but 10 best animes to come out of 2020. And that's the gist of the video, so let's get right into it. And ba-bam! Alright, and here we go. Once again, my topsters, my Google Docs, everything. So, without further ado, let's get into the best animes come out of 2020, starting at number 10. At number 10, we have a show that, for me, I think not a lot of people talk about nowadays, but it's a show that does hold dear to my heart because this third season actually pushed the boundary pretty good, and that is Resco. Aggressive Resco Season 3. Now, obviously, this picture here is kind of wrong because that's not what it's supposed to be. The third season of Aggressive Resco um, is considered to me the best that the show had to offer. This is the third season at its peak, at its core. Everything about the show up until that point, up from the first season, the second season, was building up to something bigger, something more interesting to what you used to know about Aggressive Let's Go at this point. And the third season perfectly balances everything out while simultaneously giving us like a lot of drama packed moments that make you want to like, holy crap, this was amazing. And while season 4 and 5 kind of dipped the quality a little bit, unfortunately, this third season still, in a way, does hold up to this day 5 years later, given that this third season really was super impactful upon its release. But I digress. Third season of Agretzko definitely would be in the top 10, in my opinion, for the best anime of 2020. And of course, we're gonna move on from that. So at number 9 is one that I actually made a tier list of. It was actually featured on a tier list, and you might know this from firsthand. It's the Demon Slayer Mugen Train Arc movie. Yep. Do you remember this movie, the Mugen Train Arc? Because I sure have. I'm pretty sure everyone has heard about this movie one way or another. But yeah, the Mugen Train Arc movie, when it came out the year 2020, was the biggest juggernaut of a movie to come out that year. Um, Again, as I stated back when I made the tier list, the Demon Slayer tier list, this movie still holds up really strong, still holds up really true to this day. And while it definitely isn't like a red light district arc per se of like perfection, this definitely was heading in the right direction at the time. And the hype for this movie, and even to an extent, if you go into the TV show version of it, still holds up pretty strongly to this day, and is one of the stronger seasons of Demon Slayer to come out. So undoubtedly, this would make it at the number 9 spot. At number 8, we have Okay. At number 8, we have a show that was a honestly a super hit when it came out, and I think a lot of people didn't really gave this show a lot of thought, and that's Tony Kawaii. Um, over over the moon for you. This anime was super unique for its time period because at the time, you had shows that were kind of going this slice of life marriage direction already that have been done many, many times. And admittedly, I will say that the first couple episodes of this first season was a bit of a slow burner. But believe me when I say that when you give the show a shot and watch it all the way to episode 4, I think you're going to love the show so much and appreciate it for what it's trying to go for all the slice of life marriage qualities. It really breaks down a lot of like what it's like to be in a marriage life, single life, dating life, and how to love one another, while simultaneously just like kind of building up this momentum all the way through. And the first season is to me is outstanding, amazing. The animation's fire, the art style is still unique for what it was going for at the time, and you have characters from front to back that you would absolutely love and want to get to know all the way to the end. And that's Toniko Kawaii in a nutshell. At number 7, we're gonna have the second season of Fruits Baskets on here. Let's see if I can pop it up. Yep, yep, yep. But do we have season 2 on here? Um. Oh, damn! What a shame. No second season here. All right, but just know the second season of Fruits Baskets looks a little bit like this. The second season of Fruits Baskets to me was like Fruits Baskets actually going to like a much higher direction than what the first season had to offer. And keep in mind, the first season was a re-anime adaptation of the same Fruits Baskets anime adaptation that came out back in the 2000s. So when TMS decided to pick this project up again and actually finally flesh out and readapt everything about this whole show from the manga, it definitely gave it what it needed to make it possible. So I definitely love season one and the change they had for it. Season two definitely like, pushed the envelope of the show so much. And as someone that loves Fruits Baskets, the manga itself, I knew going to the second season it was going to go into a much different direction, and a lot of revelations were going to get revealed. And yes, it would not be like a huge climactic finale conclusion like the final season of Fruits Baskets. The second season still is a must watch, especially if you're hooked on how amazing the first season of Fruits Baskets was. You're going to absolutely love the second season of Fruits Baskets in a nutshell. 25 episodes might be a bit long for some people too, I will admit, but believe me, you're gonna love all the characters in the show. And when you get to the third season, the impact from what you last saw from the second season really carries over into the final season super well. And I'll leave it at that. Because then at number six, we have technically a two-parter here, um, but it's more specifically Haikyuu to the Top Part 1 and Part 2. Now, there is a little bit of controversy surrounding this list already because we have two of these here. So Haikyuu to the Top Part 1 and Part 2, both of these did come out in 2020 respectfully. And the more I thought about the list at the time, the more it's like I don't like the trend of once again having a part 1 to a season and a part 2 of a season. So because of that, I kind of decided to judge it based upon the whole package as a whole. And I will say that admittedly, the first half of Haikyuu to the Top season, which is definitely the weakest of the bunch, but it does 100% pick up on the second half of Haikyuu to the Top. And while this season of Haikyuu is not the strongest overall, it definitely doesn't live up to like season two and season three of Haikyuu. It definitely has a lot of standout moments that makes it a wonderful, amazing sports anime that is still talked about even to this day. Yes, you can argue that the animation does dip in quality for some moments in the show, and maybe the first half of Haikyuu to the Top is a little bit of a downgrade compared to like what the previous three seasons had to offer. But I would argue that this is still like really enjoyable, still talked about. It even redeemed itself with the recent Haikyuu dumpster battle movie that came out not that long ago, believe it or not. So, with all that being said, Haikyuu to the Top season 4 definitely would make it in my top 10. But of course, we're now moving to the tippity top, the cream of the crop, the top 5. And the top 5 that we have here starring off is the third and final season of this anime here. My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu Season 3 to be exact. Now, again, Top Search sadly doesn't have it here, so this is what it looks like. My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu Climax is the final season of this show, as you can see here, by Feel Studios. And I think I can honestly say that at the time when this came out, this show had a lot of hype going for it. The expectations for how they were going to conclude the show was at a fever pitch high. Because you have to understand, when this third season came out, this had a huge break between season two and season three. Season two came out back in 2015, and everyone's been wanting a third season, hoping that we'll finally get a concluding third season. And I think they delivered on this one. This third season is still one of the most like amazing closers to like any slice of life romantic comedy anime to come out. It has a lot of satisfying endings, whether people agree with my opinions or not. It's up for grabs. But I think that the way to close out the series as a whole was perfect. Every character has its resolutions to a degree, and again, I think that given like the stage that it set itself up for in season two prior. Season three of My Teen Romantic Comedy is still talked about even to this day to an extent, and is the reason why it would be comfortably in my top five spot as a result. But there's other animes that come out that are better than these, of course. And at number four, we have a show that, again, this is also going to be a little bit controversial for how the placement is right now, but it would be ReZero Season 2. Now, obviously, Topsters do not have it, but just know that ReZero Season 2 is on here. More specifically, ReZero Season 2 Part 1. And again, this also kind of conflicts with the whole Haikyuu mention that I made not too long ago. But once again, ReZero Season 2, the first half of it that came out of the summer 2020 that year, it is still a strong showing of ReZero. It takes everything that we loved and you expect from ReZero the first season and completely flips it around to where a lot of things happen at the very beginning of the second season. And this second season, the first half at least, is essentially like the sad, depressing story of Subaru having to come to terms to himself and everything in between. It's such a thought provoking and just straight up depressing fucking season. I think between this and part two of season two that I might talk about in the future, this is by far this the first half of this is just depressing as hell. It is so goddamn depressing because it focuses on the eyes of Subaru, the origins of his powers, what got him to keep on redoing everything, and also diving into some really dark subject matter when it comes to the origins of Amelia and many other characters that you see in the beginning of season two. Believe me, that while I absolutely love ReZero Season 2, this is a second season that is not for the faint of heart. Like, if you are pretty much, if you're already uncomfortable with the subject matter and what's portrayed in the first season of ReZero, you may not be able to come out the second season, like, super hot, happy, and full of hope at that point. But I will say that in the second half in the season two, it does pick up and actually has like a glimmer of hope kind of deal, and that's I think that's all I'll say about that. ReZero season two in a nutshell though is a freaking masterpiece, and I'll leave it at that. So, what is my three spots I have left? Huh? The three spots I have left would be this. So at number three, we have a movie, a movie that I've actually talked about from a really old video not that long ago. Let's see. Oh, it's not on here. Oh no! But you already know, Violet Evergarden, the movie. This movie is absolutely incredible. And the fact that this movie came out during a pretty dark period from Kyoto Animation Studios, given what happened to them, the background surrounding this movie, is astounding. Once again, I highly recommend for anyone who hasn't watched Violet Evergarden the anime to like really give this show a shot in the dark to check it out. But the movie itself is absolutely gorgeous. It is amazing. It's honestly one of the best concluding. Again, just like with the Snuff anime, I think that this was a concluding final movie to really wrap up the Violet Evergarden story in a nutshell. I definitely don't want to spoil it because I might have already talked about it in my Violet Evergarden reflection video from a while back. But believe me when I say that Violet Evergarden the movie would definitely be in my top three best anime to come out of 2020 that year. And I'm gonna leave it simply at that. And number two, though, there was a movie that actually was super more drastic, more daring, and more infamous for all the right reasons, all the wrong reasons, you could say. But this is a movie that came out in 2020 and still to this day has some of those has scenes that are stuck in my freaking head even after the movie has ended. And that is, let's see, yep, Main Abyss. The most, let me see, yep, the Main Abyss movie. This third movie of Main Abyss has gotta be one of the craziest fucking movies I've seen in a while. Like not even in a while, but like in general. This movie was what the fuck did I just watch kind of moment. I mean, where to begin with this thing? If you don't know what Made in Abyss is all about, I highly recommend watching the first season of Made in Abyss to know what you're getting into. But Made in Abyss Dawn of the Deep Soul is one of the most sad and just holy shit moments ever. From getting to know Rake's origins, to getting to know how getting to know deeper to Nanachi and Minnie's origins, to getting to meet Prushka, where oh my god, fucking Prushka. If you love this girl that you see on your screen from the little trailer that I'm popping up right now, you're gonna be fucking sad. Like, they make a character that you fucking love, they just got to know in the movie, and instantly just destroy you. And then in this movie, you get to meet Bondrewd. And again, prior to the main Abyss franchise, you know what Bondrewd's known for. You know why you absolutely should hate this piece of shit. In this fucking movie, my god, they made Bondrewd like the fucking boogeyman. This guy is a fucking menace and gives you even more reasons to fucking despise him even further. And even though towards the very end of the movie, it kind of makes you like kind of sort of understand where he's coming from and why he became the way he is, you still can't fucking get enough to like, man, what the fuck have we witnessed here, you know? And also on top of it, there's some flashy animations to come out. There's some flashy emotional scenes that really hit this show a home run. And this is a movie that to this day, it's it's super hard to rewatch. Just like the ReZero, oh, sorry, just like the Violet Evergarden movie, this is a movie that's even more hard to stomach and sit back and rewatch over again because of how memorable a lot of the scenes of that show of this movie were. And that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say about Made in Abyss. But it couldn't reach the number one spot. The number one spot goes to another slice of life anime, yes, but this was one that was actually super popular prior, and in my view, the second season really was the catalyst as to why the third season became a smash hit as well, and that is this. Let's see. Yep, Kaguya-sama Love is War. Season 2 to be exact. Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 2 um, honestly needs no introduction at this point. This is a near masterpiece when it came out back in 2020. I still hold this show in high regards as like my 10 out of 10 anime to come out in 2020 because this show has everything you want in a slice of life comedy anime that like immediately like if you're not hooked within the first episode, I don't know what is gonna hook you honestly. This has everything you want from the characters that you all love and know from the first season to even the newer characters that's introduced from Mikolino, for example. Like the second season takes everything you love about the first season of Kaguya-sama and pushes it to fucking 100 max. Like this was absolutely amazing, still phenomenal, still a show that holds up super well to this day. From its animation to its voice acting to the humor that hits so well, so strong that gives off that a show that once again, I think I've referenced this many times. This is a show that really is paying homage to like the classics like Nichijou, for example, but in an amazing, amazing way. And the show just gets better and better from here as to why I just hold the show in high regards as like the gold standard of what slice of life comedy anime should be. And I think they hit it super well with this show. And for me, it's a show that isn't super over the top, that isn't trying to be like trying to push itself unserious in a way. But it's a show that for me is just iconic. It's iconic and memorable in every way. And to top it off, the romantic aspects of the show still holds up really strong, really true, to where it's like, okay, who's going to be one to admit that they love each other and do this and do that? Like, it keeps you wanting more, and while simultaneously make you, like, hooked on the premise of, like, okay, who's going to be the ones to make them confess? While simultaneously, like, balancing this act of balancing so many characters happening at one place at another. Like, this show has it all, and it perfects that so well in the second season. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. But yeah, you can weep it and reap it. Again, there might be some controversy regarding again the ReZero stuff, the Haikyuu stuff, but this will essentially be my top 10 best anime to come out of 2020. Thank you for watching. I will be probably dropping a 2021 one, as you can see, because it's not over yet. I still have lists from 2021, 2022, and even 2023 that I am willing to talk about. So, yeah, just want to talk about the best animes to come out of 2020, and I hope you guys enjoy. So, yeah, that's really about it. I'll see you on the next one. Later.